Good morning. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are live on GBMC's Facebook page with this amazing opportunity they've given me to host a show called What's Up, Dr. Dovec. I am Dr. Dovec. I'm Betsy Dovec. I am a bariatric surgeon, but today we are going to talk about an even more exciting topic, and you get to meet my personal hero, dear friend, colleague, the incredibly talented Dr. Indrika Hinton. Dr. Hinton, thank you. Welcome for coming on this show. We are so excited to learn about you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, before we dive into all the amazing work that you do for GBMC and for your patients and your career and your professional life, I want to first really get to know you. So I want to know, where are you from and how did you end up in Towson, Maryland? What is your journey? What is your story, my friend?
Well, I grew up in California. I went to school there, and then I went to Johns Hopkins to do my training, and then I graduated at GBMC.
So you grow up in California. I saw your resume. Your resume is probably one of the most impressive I've ever seen, from Stanford, University of California, San Diego? And then
yes, San Diego.
You end up in Hopkins. So West Coast to East Coast, some of the finest institutions in the entire world to do your training. So why Towson, Maryland? How are you here?
Well, I live in Towson, so I live literally across the street from GBMC. So I like to treat my neighborhood.
That's awesome. And I got to tell you, we are so lucky that you are our gynecologist, our fertility specialist, and all that you do. So tell us in more detail, what exactly do you do for GBMC? What does your specialty entail?
Well, I'm a reproductive endocrinologist, and I specialize in infertility, hormone imbalances. I deal with adolescent and pediatric patients, and I also do minimally invasive surgery. So I pretty much cover the gamut of women's health care.
So when you say minimally invasive surgery, what exactly does that mean?
Well, for example, if someone were to have fibroid problems or endometriosis problems, we need to do surgery, but we want to do it in the least invasive way.
So you operate, you see patients, you're very busy. How do you relax? What do you do for fun? How do you get the stress away?
Well, I do my yoga, I do exercise, weight training, meditation. I used to do travel, so all those fun things.
So how's life? I know that you love to work out. You do it consistently. You're in incredible shape. You teach that to your patients, which is so important to their overall health. Tell me why, what have you been doing during COVID? Has that been harder on you, or how have you found the motivation to keep your body, your own health in check?
Well, actually, I use my friends from the gym, and we compete with each other every day to reach our exercise goals. So sometimes it means doing a yoga class at 10 o'clock at night online so that I can keep up with my good friend Jocelyn out there from Bear Hills, Copper Mine.
Hey, Jocelyn.
So, yes, so we are just working out every day.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's hard to find the motivation and that sort of thing. But the good news is we have heard that Governor Larry Hogan has recently started his phase 1 rollout back to civilization as we know it, I hope. And with that, it means that you maybe are able to see some more patients in your office. How are things going in terms of what you're doing differently? What has happened since COVID for your patients and how you see them?
Well, we're doing a lot of video visits now, and we are definitely spacing out their visit. We're planning to have them wait in the car before they come up, and we'll be calling them up so they're not exposed to other people. And of course, we're doing our social distancing. We also are wearing our N95 masks, our face shields, all these things to keep our patients safe.
You look at you there. This is what you're wearing in the office? This is what I got to see coming at me?
Yes, yes, that is definitely what you will be seeing.
Wow, so. I love it. You're wearing your PPE, your personal protective equipment. I love especially the quote that you put on that picture. She wanted to know how her makeup looked, and I think everybody will agree out there, it is on point, girl. I mean, you are really looking good when you're treating patients extremely safely. So that's great. We can now still safely take care of our needs for gynecology, reproductive or infertility issues, and we can do those. Let's say I'm somebody that doesn't need an exam, that I feel like I could talk to you virtually. Are you offering any video virtual visits at this time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm trying to see patients in the morning, and then the whole afternoon is video visits.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you've embraced telemedicine. It's fantastic for your patients. It breaks down barriers. And some people might feel intimidated by it. Do you think it's hard, or is it fairly easy for the patients to do?
It's very easy. We have a wonderful MyChart app, and that really helps the patients jump into the appointments. So I had a couple of glitches here and there, but it's just really running very smoothly.
Well, that's incredible. So if you're a new patient out there, an existing patient of Dr. Hinton, please know that you just simply have to call their office and they will hook you up with either an in-person visit or even a video visit. So don't delay your care. Don't delay your care. And it's not just any care. It's care with one of the top doctors in Baltimore. Listen, you guys, did you know out there that she is a 3-year and running, and many years before this as well, top doc, and Baltimore's top doctors are voted on by their peers. So this isn't just any honor. This is a big honor because her peers recognize her as one of the best in the industry. Your results are incredible. Your technique is superb. Your bedside manner is second to none. So that's an incredible accomplishment there.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And it's not just your peers. It's not just your colleagues. It is your patients. So I took to GBMC's website and I was almost tired. I was looking through all of these compliments so much. I wish that Dr. Hinton could take care of me for all of my needs and be my primary care doctor. She goes above and beyond her specialty. She is excellent. She took my concerns serious. I've known her and she's treated me for the 17 years. I will never leave her as long as she practices. And that just must feel so, so amazing to hear those things from your patients especially.
It's great. I mean, as I get older, I'm taking care of children that of my patients, and it just gives you so much more of a continuity. Because I also do regular gynecology, so a lot of my patients will end up staying with me, and we go through all of our women's transitions together.
Yeah, there is so many reasons in your adult life that you need to see a gynecologist for your screenings at first for pap smears, cervical cancer, to other reproductive issues, infertility, menopause, hysterectomies. I mean, you name it. There's a ton of benign, malignant, and different conditions that Dr. Hinton can help you treat. But I wanted to turn it back to another personal note and also a professional note. First off, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Well, thank you. I want to acknowledge, though, that Mother's Day may not always be happy. And for a lot of women out there, a lot more than you think, a great number of the population is struggling with infertility. Infertility is emotionally devastating. It's filled with a lot of disappointments. It's a wild, crazy, complex ride and journey. And Dr. Hinton is a part of it. She had her own struggles with infertility, but as you can see from this picture, she had a happy ending herself. So tell us a little bit about your own struggles with infertility and your own large family, as you can see there.
Well, eventually I figured out what to do. But I struggled with infertility for about 1.5 years, which is a relatively short time for a lot of people. So I feel very fortunate. But I was able to figure out what the mild problem was for me. And so 3 of those babies are Clomid babies.
Wow. So you yourself, you understand, you're empathetic to it. You know, you understand each month, oh, geez, here we go again. And today I'm going to change from colleague to personal patient. And this is something that I just cannot thank GBMC enough for, to get to share my experience with Dr. Hinton and my personal story. So I have a video here which shows the walk to Dr. Hinton's office. And I know this might not seem like much, but I'll tell you, walking down that long, narrow hallway to your office and seeing those words on the door, reproductive endocrinology and infertility, boy, taking that first step and opening that door, it's really overwhelming. It's an emotional thing. It's not one that you wish on anyone to have to deal with. But I'll tell you, when I walked in that door, I was met with an amazing practice, an amazing clinician. And, you know, how do you get patients to get started? How can they get started to take that walk down that hallway and walk in the door and get to know you and Julie and Arena and your amazing team with your practice?
Well, it's very simple. We have a very open schedule for patients because we prioritize our patients with significant needs and we bring them right in. So usually there's only at most a 2-week wait to come in, and just call the office and make your appointment.
Wow. So, you know, women out there, when is the right time though to make that appointment? How long does a patient have to be trying to conceive before maybe they need further evaluation? How do they get to that level to know that they need your level of expertise?
Well, when you've been trying for over a year and you're under 35, that's when you should make an appointment. Or if you're over 35 and you've been struggling for over 6 months, we also want you to come in to start your evaluation. And also, if you bring to the table problems, say irregular periods, fibroids, known endometriosis, we want to see you earlier because we want to jump ahead. A lot of times I'll have patients where I know that they've had a problem or that their mother's had a problem. And so I'm going to prepare them months ahead of time that we need to be on top of their condition if they're not getting pregnant right away.
So I understand if you're less than 35, ladies, and you've been trying for a year to conceive, it's time to start that evaluation. And what does that road look like? What types of things do patients have to do to be evaluated for infertility?
Well, your basic evaluation starts with an exam. We check your hormones at different times in your menstrual cycle. We check your partner and make sure everything's okay. And then we will also check with different tests such as a dye study to see if the fallopian tubes are normal and if the uterine cavity is normal.
So if after all of this workup, this evaluation, you determine, okay, we probably will try medications, we'll try IUI, and then when is the decision made that it's time to try something called IVF, in vitro fertilization?
Well, when all of the patient's workup is negative, we will typically start with a minimally invasive like medication with insemination, which is a low cost, not so involved process. And we will try it for 3 times. If you're not pregnant after 3 times, then it's recommended to move on to in vitro fertilization. Of course, if we find something like a problem with your fallopian tubes or that you're not responding to the medications to make you ovulate, then we can move on to in vitro fertilization.
So, of course, as I said, I'm sharing my story, and I went through some surgery, some procedures, a lot of testing, and then I got the news that I needed to do IVF. And it is devastating to think you have to do that. Why me? This isn't right. And, you know, I was scared. And the thing I was scared most about was the needles. I was just so frightened about having to inject myself with medication, and would those needle sticks hurt? So what does your office do to help us ladies out there who are afraid of these needles?
Well, we start by giving you intensive training on how to do it. And sometimes we can recruit your partner to help us as well. Sometimes that's more successful than other times. And my patients manage to get through it. Half the time when they're done with the whole process, they're like, oh, that's nothing. So there's a lot of different steps to everything that we do. And sometimes it's just taking that first step that eases someone's concerns.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. I'll tell you, ladies out there, these injections, I just showed my personal stash of old needles and bottles and syringes. And honestly, it's absolutely nothing because, let me show you. Once you do it, this is with my daughter Adrian, when I saw at just 6 weeks in Dr. Hinton's office, that little flicker of a heartbeat. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like it. There's a lot of heartache to get to that heartbeat, but it's just the most incredible experience. So I just cannot thank you enough for that. My story also has a happy ending. I really feel like entirely because of you in modern science. You know that you can do no wrong. Everyone, this is right here, oops, this way. This is my hero. She is just an amazingly skilled technician. And in addition, she has just really walked me through. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes it didn't work. And she was there to hold my hand and tell me we're going to do it again. And this is the plan. And it was always individual and personal. And she gives you her cell phone. The care you give your patients is just second to none. Why infertility? Why is this your specialty? Why is this your calling?
I just love the baby business. It's just a wonderful time. I mean, yes, there's definitely heartache. We've gone through a lot of heartache together with your personal journey. And I really felt when we weren't successful. So it's just a more intimate relationship with my patients. I really get to know them really well. And I hope they get to know me really well. And I like to follow them, and it's so rewarding because I get to see them. I get to know their whole family. I get to watch their children grow up. It's wonderful. Mm.
Yes, I definitely think it's an intimate profession. And I'm just so glad that you went through all that training and all the extra CME to keep going to be able to help us. Because on December 28th, 2015, I welcomed Adrian Louise Wick into the world, and I got to be a mom. I got to give birth, and it was just amazing. And it's really because of Dr. Andrika Hinton and her incredible team that I got to do that. But it's not over. That was baby one. Now listen, guys, let me warn you, okay? If you go to see Dr. Hinton, she's going to talk you into trying to be like her family and beyond. Her biggest regret is that she didn't have more kids. You saw that picture with the 4 there. So maybe the husbands, maybe the women out there, you might need to watch out. I mean, just watch out. Because the next thing that happened actually on May 12th, yes, today's date, May 12th, 2017 at 11:54 a.m., I had a 9 pounds, 5 ounce baby boy named Evan. So today is my little dude's birthday. So thank you, Andrika. We get to celebrate Evan's birthday. And when Evan came a few days after his birth, Dr. Hinton came to my house because she just wanted to see her baby. And so there she is making a house call. It's 1950s again, medicine, where you have this personal connection. It was just incredible. So amazing. But then we decided, you know what? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's go for number 3. So, much to my husband's dismay, we decided we were going to go for it. And this is that incredible moment again when we're in Dr. Hinton's office, first exam room on the left, and we're just so happy to to welcome another beating heart inside of me. And it was just amazing. And here we are about to ask Adrian, do you want a little sister?
Want baby, Adrian? More babies?
6 weeks.
More babies?
Do you want a sister?
Another girl. And then here is that amazing moment that I got to live.
That was your fastest, babe.
She's pretty perfect.
So it's so emotional. It's so fantastic. So, I mean, I can't thank you again. And I hope there are women out there who are watching. So if they're watching right now and they've put their fertility treatments on hold because of some of the government mandates, can they get started again? Let's just reiterate that. How did they get this magical ending with you?
Well, we're starting to start up again. So gradually, we're trying to get all the people that were canceled during the initial shutdown of COVID, and we are going to start ramping up. So hopefully we'll be back to full court press mid-June.
Wow. Okay, you heard it here. I would say, ladies, everyone, you need to get started with Dr. Hinton right now. So we did get some questions from the audience, and the one is in regards to tracking your ovulation, tracking your cycles. What app or what technique do you recommend to all those women out there?
Well, right now I'm favoring the iPhone app. The health app does have a reproductive feature with it. So I think that shares your data less prominently than the other apps might. So I like to think of your privacy and keeping that together. But we also use Glow and Flow as well. Okay.
So I'm sure when you meet with Dr. Hinton, she will give you lots of advice on how the tips and tricks to try to optimize, maximize your ability to conceive without intervention. And if necessary, pills, injections, IUI, IUVF, she will walk you through it, explain it. It's kind of scientific. It's kind of complex, but she'll make it easy to follow for all of you with her team. Julie, we see you out there. Arena, all the team, they're just amazing. So I want to show you that one of my dear friends that I became very close to, I actually met and really got to know her because she was going through some infertility struggles as well. And this picture here is from last year's 4th of July. And these are 5 baby by Hintons here. All 5 of these are IVF babies, my friend and my child. And we looked at this picture and we said, my God, for 2 infertile broads, we're looking kind of fertile, aren't we? My goodness. So again, we just can't thank you enough. And then finally, I have to say, again, you have completed, I know you don't want to hear that word, completed our family. We have my husband, Aaron, and myself, we just can't believe the happiness and the joy, how much we love being parents. And we just know it could not have been possible if it wasn't for you and your skills and just the care that you provided to myself and to my whole family. So thank you.
You sure you don't want one more?
I knew it was coming.
Or 2 more.
Coming. Aaron, are you out there watching? What do you think? I mean, should we do this on live TV right here? I don't know. I'm sure he's doing some gestures at home. But that being said, we have an exciting special guest that we're going to close out this episode with. Oh, hello, there she is. Hi, Tara. How are you?
Hi. Tara, good. How are you?
I'm great. Tara, I feel like I am on with a local celebrity.
Yes, we've had a lot of news coverage. It's exciting.
Well, first off, again, happy Mother's Day
Thank
to
you.
Your first Mother's Day, just amazing. But I know the road for you also was not the easiest. Could you tell me a little bit about your story and your ending?
Yeah. So for many reasons, we were having trouble conceiving, and after a few months, I was older. I was in my late 30s. So after about 6-7 months, we went to a fertility specialist, and Very long story short, we did 6 rounds of IVF there, to no avail. Went to a different fertility specialist, did 2 rounds, and it was about 3 years, more money than I would like to say. And this kid's not going to college because we spent her college fund. But she is here, and she's a miracle, and we feel very, very blessed. Very blessed.
So, I mean, congratulations. I know that the joy is in the climb, especially when you get to that climax and get to really just soak it in. I'm sure right now you're a little exhausted. I know those early days, it's like, this is so magical, isn't it? But it is difficult, for sure. So I feel you on that one. But, tell me, how was it giving birth at GBMC during a pandemic? How was that?
Yeah. Yes. Well, I was joking with my parents because they said I was a rough child sometimes. So they were saying, of course, your kid would be born, would bring about a global pandemic. But it was look, it was very nerve-wracking. I would say GBMC was amazing. They really made us feel at ease. They took care of us in a way that I just wasn't expecting in this environment, with everything going on. But bringing a child into a world in the middle of a global pandemic is not easy. I think both physically, but more so mentally, emotionally, particularly for women who have undergone infertility, because you create this village of support around you over the years of infertility treatments, and this village is so excited about this child coming. And you have all these visions about like what that's going to look like and the celebrations that you're going to have once the child comes and how everyone's going to get to meet this miracle baby. And that, can't happen. So I think there's an added kind of sorrow to this for women who have struggled with infertility, because that really sometimes gets us through is our village and our support system.
So well said. Yeah, I see you, I feel you, I was you, but I did have my village around me, and you will soon too, but I know that that's tough, but I know that you had an uncomplicated birth and everything went just perfect. So I'm sure you'll be reunited soon enough, I hope, with your family and friends to celebrate the birth of this perfect child.
We hope so too. And we can't wait to bring her back to GBMC so Dr. Erdman can see how big she's getting. She's quite the eater. So we're excited to bring her back and have everybody see her, because the nurses, particularly at GBMC during delivery, were just so incredible. And really, like, we didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl. They were taking bets on what the sex was going to be. So they're all going to be, some of them that had to leave for shift change, they're going to be surprised, hopefully, when they see her. Oh. It's a her.
Yay. And tell us, what did you name her?
So her name is Eliora. It is a Hebrew name. And her grandmother's Hebrew name, my husband's mother, it's similar to her Hebrew name, but it also means divine light. So for us, in such a struggle, trying to have her, and then in this time period, which is kind of a dark time period, we thought it was really an appropriate name. This divine light that is shining through in such a dark time, and really is our miracle. So we thought it was an appropriate name for her, Eliora.
Mm. Wow, infertility, this journey, it certainly can be dark. Divine light is divinely perfect. And I'm so happy for you. So if you're out there watching and you are thinking, I want to experience this divine light, I've been trying, I've been struggling, again, we understand. And we hope that you will get started at GBMC. It's state of the art, it's personal care. You're not going to be treated like a number. I can personally tell you that my experience was one of a kind. So please get started with Dr. Indrika Hinton. She is accepting new patients. Please call her office at 410-616-7777. 410-616-7777. Do not hesitate. Call her today. Get started with a video visit, an in-person chat. Get to know her, get to know her practice, and most importantly, get to know your new family. And I wish you all the best out there. So on behalf of GBMC, we thank you all for watching this episode of What's Up, Dr. Dovec. I love this honor and privilege to get to introduce you to one of our finest clinicians. Until next time, thanks again.